Hello everybody, the UofCWildcat here, and I'm bringing you the special State of the Meta OP episode. And as you can tell by the bar underneath, it's going to be rather long. I need you guys to bear with me though. I'm going over basically everything they've announced the past week and a half, I would say. The reason I've waited until this long is I wanted to be able to talk about the locations, which were the #1 and what you're going to get when you go to. So basically, I'm giving you everything you need to know. And the reason this is coming out on a Monday instead of last Friday, they announced the locations on Friday as I was heading up to my grandpa's lake house. Back in the day, we went a lot more than we do, but with me working, I actually had a weekend off, went up there for a relaxing weekend, and usually we have okay internet, enough that I could record an episode and upload it. We were sitting at a perfect 1.2 at some points, download speed, and maybe like a 0.5 up. So it was impossible to get connected to the internet at all. So I basically was like, fuck it, I'm gonna take a weekend off, relax a little bit, and bring this to you. So that is the reason this is coming out about 4 days late. But now with this, you're gonna get State of the Meta Monday, DBZ Designs on Wednesday, I'm pushing that back, and then DBZ Deck Labs on Friday, and then we're back to normal schedule from that point on. A little shorter span also for DBZ Designs, but it is what it is. This is the best way to go about it. So now going into the discussion, so as you can see, there's going to be like 3 parts in the video. There's going to be a little bit of cutting because I'm going to I've got my computer right here, I'm going to read some of the documentation that they have, basically scroll around and make it so it's not too many lull periods, but basically going over the entire OP structure. So if you guys enjoy that, hopefully you guys can find the parts that you like. If you pretty much know what the tournament guide is, you don't really care about the new tournament kits for set 3 and 4 onwards for the release events or whatever, and then for the actual OP locations and stuff, you can skip around, you can basically find it, it's kind of in thirds, it's going to be. So let's get started into the first part. We are going over the tournament guide, which is basically the rules to play. Just, hey, if you're going to come to an OP event, these are the rules to abide by. It even gives you some casual stuff like, oh, let me break down, this is what a casual event, this is what this is what this is, and it basically tells you all the rules you need to know. So let's get into that. And the first thing I've got, it does specify the event types. So they express what a casual is, and what they say is it's a more relaxed environment with an emphasis on attracting players of all experience levels. Leagues, open play, and weekly tournaments are all examples of casual level events. And then it goes on saying the gameplay of this nature is supposed to be like, going in, trying to make people learn, give them, like, hey, come in, oh, you made a mistake, this is what you're supposed to do, yada yada, make sure everybody's good. And they give an example, a mistake is made, such as an inadvertently shuffling a card back into the life deck, the player would be warned and the card would be returned to the discard pile. Nothing big, just kind of like, oh, hey, that was a mistake, don't do that, but hey, be aware of what your cards do. Something pretty simple as that. Then they go into the competitive level. A serious event with usually higher numbers of entrants. All tournaments sponsored by Panini America should be run in accordance to these guidelines for large-scale tournament support. And then you can email them for convention kits, which are big. They explain that when we get to the OP, where the locations are and what you get at each event. So what they have here, they got the local and store events. These are similar to casual tournaments, very, very similar, but maintain a high rule enforcement, trying to make people be like, hey, we're playing in the tournament, if you make a misplay, it's going to be on you. But it's still kind of casual where it's not like, you're banned from the store, but, stuff like that. The regional level events, strict enforcement of all rulings and play procedures. Official judges must be present at this point, and they may not participate in the tournament. Deck registration is mandatory, and players are subject to deck checks. So randomly they could be like, we're going to check your deck to your list, or we're going to count your deck and make sure you have 60 cards in your deck. The final one is the championship level. This is the highest level tournament with a strict enforcement of all rulings and play procedures. Official judges must be present, and they may not participate in the event. Pretty standard at that point. Regionals, obviously judges can't participate in the event, and especially in the high level, judges can't participate in the high event. And the deck registration is mandatory, and players will undergo random deck checks. So you will get a deck check. In the regional level, they may come up to you and say, let me check your deck, but in the higher, or like championship level events, they're going to check your deck randomly, so be ready for that. And we'll go into what those mean. We've got the tournament formats. says local and casual events. They use a variety of formats. You can do a single elimination with locals. Again, the local casual, it's, you know, for a fun environment so everybody can, oh, this is fun, yay. Note, it again goes with the sealed. It tells you what you're supposed to do with sealed. Because again, when we went for set 2, there was no starter deck, and of course our local wasn't up to speed. And we were like, hey, usually back in the day for Score Z, you get a starter deck and you get 3 packs from the past set. And they were like, at least ours, they were like, we're gonna bring, you bring your constructed decks, you get 3 packs, you put some of those cards in, and you play your constructed decks, which is pretty stupid, especially at the point because I was going to a sealed event because I'd already gotten my half case with my buddy of set 2. I already had my decks made, so there's no point in me buying 3 packs. It's literally paying $25 for 3 packs and playing with a constructed deck. Really stupid at that point. But, you know, they explain what sealed's supposed to be. Sealed is 1 starter deck. So you're using set 1 starter decks, and then you use, you're supplemented with 3 booster packs from the new set. It also says that players may use any personality and mastery combination. Decks may be constructed by any name, alignment, and style. So, you know, the villains only, you can play that in hero decks. Just for the sealed event, because, you know, you get some cards, you don't want to buy packs and like, oh, well, I'm shit out of luck because I got a card that's I'm not allowed to play. So, that's the way they do that. They go over what Swiss is. Swiss is basically, you know, you'll keep playing around, everybody gets a point, you know, if you win, you get 3 points, get a draw, it's 1 point, loss is 0, and a bye is 3 points. I think that one's really crazy, though. The bye being worth 3, I think the bye should be worth 2, because I think bye should not be the end-all, be-all. If I get a bye early, and I go on a win streak, I think that, and I go, like, say I'm 4-3, I don't think my bye should count as much as somebody who played round 1 and got a win, or somebody who played later on and got 5 actual wins in a 7-round tournament, and I only got 4 wins, but I got a bye. It should not be equal, but I think there's a way that the tiebreakers go, and actually we go to that here. The tiebreakers for when determining, see, after the Swiss rounds are completed, the highest scoring players will advance to top cut based on the number of players in the tournament. Determine each player's total score, then finalize the rankings with the following tiebreakers. So, the very first tiebreaker is the total score of the player. If you have more points, you're obviously in. The second one, total score of opponents defeated by the player, and that's where I think the bye would hurt you at that point. The bye does not have a score. It's I think it's a virtual 0, so, you know, playing more people who have higher score really helps you strike the schedule. Then it goes to total score of the opponent that defeated the player. So if we're still tied at that point, okay, who did I lose to and who did you lose to, and that's going to determine the tiebreaker. If you're still tied, latest round of first defeat. At that point, we should be tie broken, but if not, head-to-head outcome if applicable. Alrighty, and then we go to the number of players for each event. Okay, so if we're playing an 8-person tournament, if there's only 8 people at a tournament, it's 3 rounds, no top cut. After 3 rounds, you'll have, you know, a winner at that point. If you 9 to 16, it's 4 rounds with top 4, and this is what I really like. It shows you that, you know, you can play some bigger end tournaments close to, you know, like if you have 10, you can still top cut, and it makes it way more valuable to be able to play with each other and have a top cut, because then it's more exciting. It's not like I lose and I'm done. Well, shit, they're gonna go win out. 17 to 32, 5 rounds, top 8. 33 to 64, top 8 with 6 rounds. And then this is where we get big. This is where we're getting to Gen Con levels. 65 to 127. This is where we were at North Kai. There's 7 rounds and a top 16, which is what we did. With Gen Con, we're already at 128. We sold out all the spots, but, you know, more people are going to walk in. I definitely think we're going to get close to, maybe close to 200. I'd say like 280, 290. Or not 280, 190, 180. Whew, that's a lot. For Gen Con, for people walking in who just want to pay, and I think they're going to accommodate them as much as possible, especially with Gen Con. That's going to be 8 rounds, top 16. And then we've got, you know, it's 256 plus. It shows the top cut. I'm trying to put some of these stuff on the screen. If you do see it when I pop it up, that's where you'll see it. But, you know, right here they have the bracket. They do it like a normal bracket, like in the March Madness NCAA tournaments. You know, the #1 overall is going to face the worst guy who got in to the tournament and goes down from there. You know, gotta give them the fair shake. You know, I want out. I'm the best player there. I don't want to have to play the second best player there because it randomly matches up who plays who. I would rather play whoever barely just got in because I want out. You know, basically it shows there's no reason then for me to win out. I can go 5-2 and still top cut, and I'm gonna play randomly somebody. It gives value to somebody who's going to win out the entire tournament. So the start of the game, there's a lot of stuff that goes on here, and I'm probably going to stop and talk a little bit more about those. Start of the game. Each game randomly determines which player takes their first turn, usually a die roll. People can do other things. I know when we were at North Kai, somebody wanted to do coin flip. They liked 50-50 odds better. So either way, you find whoever goes out first. Then players must thoroughly randomize their deck with sufficient shuffling, and anytime a deck is shuffled, it must be presented to the opponent to cut. It says, or shuffled by a judge upon request. Gameplay continues under normal rules, and player may call the judge for clarifications. The end procedure: when you finish a game, when the time limit of the round expires, notify all remaining matches. So the judges have to go around and be like, hey, time has been called, finish your last combat, and then we'll do the tiebreaker stuff. Finish the current turn, as it says, and then it actually says, then play 2 extra turns. That's something I skipped over. So you'll play 2 more turns. So if I finish my combat, you go in, you play a bunch of non-combats, you're definitely not entered. That's a turn, and then it's my turn. I could pass if I'm already up on tiebreakers, so there's that. If a player has not won by the end of the extra turns, the match will be declared a draw. And then in the event of an elimination matchup, so a top cut, a draw cannot be declared, and then use the following tiebreakers. So the player with the most cards remaining in the life deck is the winner. And this is one that came up in North Kai, where we had our buddy Tony, who was playing against Tim Cable, a Namekian deck. And basically it went to time, and the tiebreaker rules they used were very stupid, very slanted to Namekian, and I think even the tournament operator was like, yeah, this is what we have to use, this is what they're using, so unfortunately that's where we're at. It was most cards in the life deck gets a point, most anger gets a point, highest personality level gets a point, and most Dragon Balls gets a point. So literally that's, Namekian's going to win that, especially like my buddy who was playing Black Krillin. You don't level off level 1, you don't gain anger in the deck, you play 1 Dragon Ball, and you're a beats deck. It was just slanted that he was going to lose that. So these tiebreakers I really like, because most of all, number 1, if I have more life cards in the deck, I'm clearly going to win, especially in the match when you see it, or if you have seen it. Tony in the Black Krillin deck he's winning easily in that matchup, and he gets shafted a little bit. The player with the highest number of non-Dragon Ball cards remaining in his or her life deck is the winner. That's the second. So with the highest number, like, you know, once you've counted down the decks, if you're dead tied, who has more Dragon Balls? Because Dragon Balls don't count as life cards for damage. So if we go through that point and it's still tied, the third tiebreaker is the player with the highest MP level is the winner. If tied, highest anger. So anger and main personality level are in the same. By this point, we should have a winner, but if not, the fourth tiebreaker is the player that controls the most Dragon Balls is the winner. Again, at this point, we should have a winner, but then the player that has the MP with the highest number of MP power stages above 0 is the winner. We still tied? Okay. We still tied. The player that has the MP with the highest current power level is the winner. I don't know how that works. I think that is like, I don't know. I could see I want it to happen. I want the dream scenario where I'm playing a Namekian deck and we're both like 10 cards left in the life deck. We both have 4 Dragon Balls in there. We both are at level 4. We are both at level 4 and we have no anger. We're both at, what's the next one? Yeah, we both have 3 Dragon Balls, but they're 3 different ones. We haven't gone to million Dragon Balls yet. We both are at 0, and our power rating is 0. What happens then? Does the world explode? Does Panini say, you both win? That would be crazy, but there's no way that's going to happen, because I think there's already going to be a winner at the deck victory. So there's more stuff. There's deck construction, kind of, you know, standard stuff for, you know, you can't use proxy cards in the tournament. It is what it is. You gotta have the actual fucking card. That's why people buy the cards to play in the event. You have to have the cards to play in the event. One of the big things that I really do like, there are no intentional draws. You are not allowed, players may not intentionally end a match in a draw, and doing so is considered collusion. So, if I'm playing my buddy in round 7, and we're both 4-2, or we're both 5-1, and we both draw, if we like, you know how people would usually, oh, I'm going to draw, you're going to draw, we both get in, fuck all the other people who are playing. That is not allowed anymore, because I really like this rule, because, you know, you make it so you're not screwing everybody else. I don't know how many tournaments I've been in, and people have been playing their buddies, and they're like, well, we're just going to draw, because, you know, we're both 2-1, everybody else is 1-2, and the winners of there will be about 3 people who are 2-1, and somebody's going to get in. But if we both draw, we're both going to get in anyway, so what's it fucking matter? It basically is wasting a lot of people's time who come to the events. If you think about it, if I'm driving, you know, like I'm trying to go to a regional that's 8 hours away. If I drive 8 hours to go to an event, I don't want to be shafted and be like, well, sorry, dude, we're drawing, and, you know, your match doesn't matter. I feel like I've wasted my time, so I really like that. Note-taking, you're allowed to take notes on a blank sheet. Every time you come to a match, it's a blank sheet of paper, and you take notes in a timely fashion that does not interrupt the pace of the game. Spectating, this is one that's actually really big, because you see it in a lot. There's been a few videos that have been up that you see this. Participants in the event may spectate matches in the playing area unless requested otherwise. Spectators may never interfere in another player's game, and any player interfering in the match will be disqualified from the entire event. Spectators that notice an error in gameplay may notify a judge in a manner that does not draw attention. Top cut matches may be spectated by anyone and are subject to video streaming. So, I mean, just, you know, if you're gonna, we may put them on Twitch is what they're saying. So, I like that, you know, it makes you be aware. You can't go to a match and be like, oh, you're supposed to mill. That's, you know, you're not supposed to do that. Both players are supposed to be aware of their own effects. And then players in the event are expected to act in a responsible manner. You know, be an adult. Be an adult in an event. Don't be doing stupid stuff. Warnings, missing a mandatory effect. Both players are responsible to know each other's effects. So if my opponent plays Dragon Ball 5 and starts doing the effects, I have to remind him that I've got to mill. And I have to mill. Both of us are responsible for that. You get a warning both players get a warning if you don't do the mandatory effects. Misrepresentation of information. A game loss may be issued for erroneous cases of this, so, you know, don't be like sitting there like, oh, I'm hiding a card over here, like stare down, oh, I'm trying to hide my card. Don't do stuff like that. Slow play is going to get you a warning. There will be 0 tolerance for slow play. If you get multiple events, you can be subject to disqualification. Taking an inaccurate amount of damage or accidentally revealing a card. So if I'm sitting there, I've played time for the turn, and my opponent plays Piccolo Power, and I start milling the cards, that's a warning on me. I have to remember my own effects. Again, that's why I'm probably going to take a notepad to everything. Write down what effects are going on for the turn. And then any other minor error that's minimal to the outcome of the game, just you get a warning. It's like, hey man, don't do that. On the next one, we've got disqualifications. With these, it kind of gets a little crazy. So, if you're caught cheating, if a judge determines a player cheated, that player is disqualified and forfeits all prizes. And now we get back to collusion, the intentional drawings. Collusion, you will get disqualified. This includes things like agreeing to intentionally draw a match or any form of bribery influence that causes a player to intentionally lose or drop, you know, from the tournament. So if I'm sitting there with my buddy and I say, hey, if you give me the win, I'll give you some prizes. That's collusion, and you're going to get kicked out of the tournament. We've got unsportsmanlike behavior, throwing cards, causing a disruption, using profanity, threats, general belligerence, everything like that. Again, be an adult. Don't, you know, go out of your way to be, this is bullshit, second. Don't be belligerent. You know, be respectful of your opponent. Key blitzing is another one. Any form of communication that impedes on a match in progress, including advice or ruling. So if I'm like sitting there and I'm talking to my buddy, hey dude, I just won my match, while he's in the middle of a match. Don't do that, man. Let your opponent play their game. It's along the same lines of, going in and, giving it rules or advice. Repeated warnings will get you disqualification, as I said, and then improper deck registration. A deck registration list with less than 56 cards results in disqualification from the event. And they go through the deck check things. This is the last bit for the ruling stuff. If a player does not contain exactly 60 cards in the deck registration list, that player receives a game loss. You lose a game for it. In the case of a substantial advantage difference, disqualification may be issued, and they go, if a deck in registered list contains 57 to 79 cards, a game loss is issued and the deck may be rectified. The player must fill the opening slots and choose cards, and then it says, oh, if I have 61 to 63, you get a game loss, and then you take out the cards that are over. And then it says, if a player's list is improperly registered for 63 or more cards, then that player is disqualified. So if they count your deck and you have 63, or if they look at your list and you have more than 63, you're going to get disqualified from the event. And also, if you have less than, if you have 57 to 59 cards in your list, you may, what does it say? The player must fill the open slot by choosing one legal style card that is not already in the deck list, and then adding the appropriate number of that copy. So if I'm playing and I have 57 cards, or if I say I have 58, and I'm playing my red deck, and I mess up and I only have 58, I'm allowed to put like I have to choose one card, so say I choose Red Frenzied Blast, which I don't run in Red Krillin. I put 2 copies of that in, and that's that for putting my deck back together and rectifying it, but I still get a game loss, so be vigilant, you know, check your decks every night, like the night before, you're playtesting most likely, have your decks ready, and be ready for the event. That was a long time. That was close to 20 minutes. I think it actually was a little bit over 20 minutes. So we're moving on to the movie launch kit, which is the expansion. So they're saying with the expansion, and it comes out June 26th, and I think they're saying tentative. It's really weird they don't have previews out. Everybody's getting a little uppity about it, and I'm starting to get, at first I was like, oh, it's whatever, man, give them a little break. It's getting to the point where we need some previews. I'm not going to shell out money for a case until I know that the money's there, and if I do get a case, I want to have it the day it comes out so I can test right away. Going on from that, the release kits, everybody will get a special launch kit. All participants will get on the screen right now the promo Saiyan Intimidation. That's actually a very good card. I really like it because it's literally the opposite of the Goku Saiyan Intimidation. The top player, the winner, will have a chance to win Isolation promo, which is badass. I like this so much better than the Garlic Jr. Isolation promo, so that one's actually really cool. And then on top of that, each kit will contain an exclusive binder, a binder that you can use. It'll fit every card in the set. It can easily hold all the movie collection cards, and then some, it says. And then you'll also, in there, it will have a Krillin's Destructodus promo. I fucking hate this promo. This is the worst picture. All the promos are pretty cool. All the pictures are fine. Like, I think Stare Down's like one that like is way down there, but this Destructodus promo, I fucking hate the picture, and I'm never running it. I run Krillin so much, I'm not running this promo. The kit will also include 2 playmats. The playmat, I'll put it on the screen right now. It's pretty cool. It's I really do like it, and I like the idea of it. They then go on and they explain, a different format, which is stores may use the new launch pack format where each player is required to bring 1 starter deck personality and 1 mastery, and then through the stores, or the stores may provide them directly, is what it says. And then from there, each player will have to construct a 60-card deck using 8 booster packs. That's the way to go. That's the way to do it if you don't want a starter deck. Let me bring my personality and I get 8 packs for paying 25 bucks. Very good. It does the rainbow effects or whatever, and that's what you get from the tournament kit. Look how fast we did that. That was like 2 minutes. We got through the movie kit tournament thing. And now we finally move on to what you've been waiting for, the OP event and the OP locations. If you have not been up to Panini's, up on their site, have not been on the Facebook page, I don't know what you're doing, but this is what came out Friday, and I was so stoked. So, Panini America Trading Card Game will begin its first season of organized play this July, and that featuring over $40,000 in cash prizes. And that's not even counting all the prize cards you can win, because there's some pretty good cards that you can get from this thing, and that's what I'm going to be going through right now. So, starting in July, players of all experience will be able to participate in organized play in the Dragon Ball Z TCG. The season is comprised of 12 regionals and 3 qualifiers, culminating in the end of the year World Championship. And right now I'll put on the screen where the locations are, and we'll go through. So we've got July 25th we've got Salem, Oregon, Wild Things Games. That's the venue. They will be hosting the first regional, and this is, I think this is a week or so. This might even, no, this is before Gen Con. So all you people who are wanting to go to Gen Con, this is before Gen Con. Then after that, we've got August 8th. We've got Charlottesville, Virginia, and this one, you'll see the ones that are highlighted. Those are the ones that I'm trying to go to. I'm going to go to most of them. The only one that is up in the air is Charlottesville, Virginia, but because it's the week right after Gen Con, and I probably will have spent some money, but yeah, whatever. We'll look over that. But Charlottesville, Virginia, the end games. Then we've got August 15th. We've got Avidal, Arizona. We got Play or Draw. And then we got Lenexa, Kansas, who's hosting our Collector's Catch on August 22nd. And then we've got on September. This is September 5th. This is another one. I'm going to Elizabethtown, Kentucky at Hard Knocks Games. And then we've got a week late. I think these are all successively or most of them are successively a week after each other. Because we've got September 12th, we've got Selden, New York, Brothers Grimm Games and Collectibles. And then we've got, on September 19th, Fargo, North Dakota. This is one that's gotten a lot of controversy, and I, as well, think it's a little weird that North Dakota got it, but I understand what they're doing. Fargo, North Dakota at Paradox Games and Comics. And then we get a little bit of a breaky break, about 21 days, and then we come back October 10th, Jacksonville, Florida with Jacksonville Game Center. Then we've got October 17th. This is another one that I'm going to. Bluff Grove, Illinois at Nerd Rage Gaming. And this one's actually a lot. This is, I think, an hour closer than North Kai was for us, and that was a 5-hour drive. This is reasonable for me. I will easily drive 4 hours. The Charlottesville one, that's 8 hours. That's powering through. So we'll have to see about that. October 24th, we got Pueblo, Colorado with Chaos Games and more. October 31st, Vacaville, California with Forgotten Path Games, and then we wrap it all up in Grapevine, Texas, November 7th with Arena 51 Games and Collectibles. Now, that was kind of long. I'll put up the map really quick as I talk about that. As you can see, it's really evenly spread out, and I think that's what they were going for. Oh, credit this map for Derek Lab and the guys at Dragon Ball Z Wiki. This is where they've posted up, and you can see it's pretty spread out. I think they really went for the goal of spreading it out where it's 8 miles between each event. This is fine. I really love, for the first OP structure, it's fine. And by fine, I mean I'm not happy about it, but it's fine. The fact that you do not put one in Ohio, you do not put one in Michigan, and you put it all the way down in Kentucky, that's the closest one that Michigan people, I think Michigan people have some of the best players, like actually skill-wise, especially from the old Scoresy people that play the game still. There's a lot of good people up in Michigan that play, and on top of that, you're not gonna give them a regional, or not even put it in like Columbus, Ohio, so it's not so it's a reasonable drive. The closest one for them is Illinois, and that's pretty crazy that they only get one closer to Illinois. So I think they've got 2, maybe 3 if they push it in driving distance. So I mean, let's wipe that off. That's where the regionals are. It's pretty spaced out, about 8 hours in between each, maybe 10 to 8 hours in between each regional. And I think that's what they went for, more location than they did on top of player base, which is hopefully something they rectify in the upcoming, I guess, structure. So all participants of these events will receive a copy of Saiyan Outrage promo, Orange Possession Drill, and Wall Breaker. This one I cannot fucking wait for, because I have like no damn wall breakers, and they're $11 right now. Let me just go to an event, get a bunch. It'll kill the value of the non-foil wall breakers, and hopefully I can get some more into my stock. And that's the goal with that. Players that qualify for Top Cut will get a Withering Fire promo and a Black Enraged Assault promo, and those are pretty cool. I really like those. And then, regardless of attendance, it doesn't matter how many people show up. There could be fucking 50 people at an event. Each regional has a guaranteed purse of $2,000, and it will be spread out. First place getting $1,000, second place getting $500, third and fourth will each get $150, and then 5th through 8 will each get $50 for their trip, and that's actually really, really good. So if you top cut and win one game, I think you basically make your tournament entry plus a little bit back. But the promos you get, those are worth some money too for people who can't go to the events at all. So that's really, really good. Finalists from each event, so first and second, will also receive an invite to Worlds. If a player will receive more than one invite, that invite will be grandfathered down to the next highest performer at the event. So you can't stockpile events. I've got 3 invites, man. I'm amazing. No, those get grandfathered down so that, you know, more people can get to Worlds. All players that earn cash prizes must fill out a W-9 form for tax stuff, you know. Aside from earning invites at regionals, players can also qualify at these premium events. One of which, in Indianapolis, Indiana, at Gen Con, a lot of people have been buying tickets for it. It's already at 128 people, which is very, very exciting. And a lot of people are going there. That may be another reason why people did not give Michigan one, so that people would come to Indianapolis's Gen Con. That's still relatively close, so maybe that's why it's still kind of shitty, but it is what it is. So, August 1st is where the Gen Con event will be held. It will be the 1st and the 2nd for Top Cut. Melbourne, Australia on November 10th, I think that is. No, October 10th. October 10th, Melbourne, Australia at TAK Games. And then finally, there's going to be one in Toronto, Canada. They're still working out that. Let's see. All participants will receive, this is where it gets really cool, alternate art promo versions of Orange PowerPoint, Devastating Blow, and Black Power Up. I want those Black Power-Ups and Dev Blows, please, and the PowerPoints are cool too, but give me fucking Black Power-Ups, please. Additionally, all players that qualify for the Top Cut will receive a promo playset of Blue Betrayal and Red Shoulder Grab. I want the Red Shoulder Grabs too, so I may have to bring some extra money to buy the extra people's Red Shoulder Grabs, because Red Shoulder Grab promos sound fucking amazing. I want them real bad for Red Krillin. The top 4 players from Gen Con will receive invites to Worlds. So top 4 are going to get invites. And the winner will have an opportunity to design a future release card. The finalists from Melbourne and Toronto will also receive invites. So 2 people from each of those events. Now, we're going to Worlds. The first DBZ Worlds will take place in Texas on December 5th, 2015. Through an invite is required to participate in the event, or though an invite is required to participate, all players should be welcome to spectate and attend. The big thing, if you get an invite to Worlds, go to fucking Worlds. There's no reason you should not go, because the prize pool and the money that you get is stupid. There's no reason to not go. And I'm going to start out with all participants in the event and a select number of top performers throughout the season. Throughout the entire season, if you're playing well at multiple events but you don't top cut, you may still get this. Will receive alternate art playsets of Heroic Energy Sphere and Villainous Energy Sphere, Saiyan Energy Focus, Namekian Onslaught, and all 5 qualifier promos. What? That's insane! So you'll get playsets of all of them, especially the Heroic Energy Spheres. Think about that. There's going to be, at a minimum, 96 of these playsets. There's going to be insane value for these, and collectors are probably pissed all over the world, but sorry, collectors, this is pretty cool. And then on top of that, the championship trophies will be awarded to all players that advance to the second round of Top Cut, which is top 8. And the tournament has prizes, or a prize purse of $16,000. First place will get $7,000. Second place will get $2.5K. Third to fourth will get $1,250. 5th through 8th will get $500, and then 9th through 16 will get $250. In addition, all these prizes, in addition to all these prizes, each event will also award sealed product, and then any player attending organized play events will need to formally familiarize themselves with the tournament guide, which we went over in the first part. So that's all the OP structure, that's the events, that's the prize pool, and that's a long video. We are about 35 minutes, so again, a longer video. I was expecting as much, but I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you liked the video, leave a like, rating, and subscribe for more Dragon Ball Z content, especially State of the Meta, DBZ Designs. That was long, and I hope you guys do enjoy and you're ready for it, OP. Wrapping this up pretty quick because it's long enough and I don't want to keep you guys any longer. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is the UFC Wildcat, signing out.